Yo, just getting set up here. Trying something a little bit different with a transparent background. The main trick to make it transparent here is the red value. Anything that is, at least in OBS for how I have it set up right now, anything that's under 0.8 is invisible or transparent. So if I show you, I can make the background all of a sudden pop in or pop out. So at the moment, I'm just going to try this out, see how I feel about it, but makes for a little bit of a fun exercise where I can actually point to things on the screen. And really all I've done here in OBS is added a filter under this. Let's see if I can remember what the settings are. I don't think I changed anything. I literally just added color correction and just called it transparency and have just been tweaking settings here. If I think about it, I've been working on a bunch of different themes, color themes for the M8, see what I like, and I've kind of settled on this one here. It had been a lot of zeros in the red column, kind of a blue theme, but as I said, I was just playing around with it to see if I get it to work in OBS. Anyway, yeah, just playing the track right now, or a bit of the track that I'd put together for the Dibia, Dibj, I guess made a typo. Anyway, whatever, it's fine. Yeah. So I'm gonna, as I said, I'll give this a try, see how I feel about it. But should let me kind of goof around here. Gotta turn up the volume for the output. I'll go a bit louder. So this is what I did on the M8. Let's see if I have the original track in here. I forget if I grabbed it or not. I'll make I'll do like an FA, we'll call it FA. And we'll go grab a new sampler and go check. So I got the original sample. You at least get a sense for what I did here, and I can kind of talk through mechanically a few things. Let's see, Battle Dibi 26. No. Well, I don't have the original sample. So effectively what it was is it's a mix between bass and a melody and like some chords. And I basically just loaded it up into Melodyne and edited the I just edited it to remove the bass. Then I exported that as a sample. And then I took the chord layer or melody layer and exported that as a sample just so I could do it. Is what I would consider kind of early stem separation before we had like the AI stem separation tools. So you get a different sound to it. Melodyne is a tool that can be a little weird to use, and to do some of these things you actually need like the studio version. I used to use Melodyne a ton because I would go through and basically just use it to like repitch notes and things, or like grab like different, have it like figure out what the notes were and then export that as MIDI and then quantize it, and then you can kind of go revoice sections or change them over time. A lot of cool things you could do with Melodyne. I think for where it is today, it's kind of pricey, especially when you can go get like so a lot of these Ultra Voice and other tools for doing AI-based stem separation for free. But I don't know. I just figured I'd go do that, and when I did, what I ended up with was this is the bass. So I just went through and you can still hear it's got some like that AI stem separation artifacts a little bit. But it was at least clean enough. I figured I could go filter out what I wanted. And I tried to do my best to just create the chops here. But yeah, you can like hear some of those higher level notes leaking through. So definitely not perfect, but I figured it was worth a shot. So I kind of tried to focus on what I consider to be like the best notes here. And you'll see, there's a few things I'll kind of go over. So there's that, and then I'll get into these other ones in a second. This is the chords. So this is something that was actually, you see, I didn't actually chop this one. And because I was able to, it's I think 32 notes, or 32 like equally spaced sounds. So I just used the slice in the program. But again, you can hear it's got kind of like a weird artifacty sound because the low end is in the bass, and some of the bass notes, high end is like kind of leaking in here. But as I said, I wasn't too worried about it. So anyway, the reason why I had to go actually do the chops in Melodyne, or not from the Melodyne bass export, is it would have all lined up correctly if I had it basically, when I did the export for the bass, it made the file shorter. So like in this particular sample, the bass was only in like the first like 2/3 or so of this sample that I'm playing here. The bass dropped out on the tail end, so I didn't actually have it did like a weird length export, and I ended up with a file that just wouldn't split correctly. So as I said, you can see here, I just did slice 20 to get 32 slices. Nothing, like I threw a high pass filter on it to kind of clean up some of the low end that wasn't great. And on the flip side, for the bass, I did a low pass filter just to kind of clean up that bass, some like the higher end that was coming through. So you end up kind of with like a different sound for it. Just to go over, I was kind of skipping over for the drum tracks. A thing I've done, and I'll probably just keep doing this, is I've set up a bunch of different, I've talked about this before. This one's like a 64 slice kick kit, and this is just all kicks. So I basically just went into Ableton Live and created equally spaced drum kicks here. Whole bunch. Just ones that I was like, oh, I like the sound of this one. And I just dropped it into a file, exported it from Ableton, and what this lets me do is I put slice 40, and I've got 64 distinct slices for kicks. And then I can just go create drum patterns with like this instrument 1, and just I can change whatever kick I want it to be by changing like it from C1 to C sharp 1 or C2 or whatever I'd like. And I did this across kicks for track 1, snares on track 2. So same idea. If I just come over and go edit this, it's just a whole bunch of snares. And well, there's claps in there too. But basically what I can do is then, as I want to change sounds, I've basically got like 64. I don't have to go keep loading more samples. I just have one sample that I can then just go change whatever note I would like it to be, and kind of go through that real quick. Same idea for the hi-hats here, is just a whole bunch of slices. The main difference here for this is I mixed open and closed hi-hats, so I actually had to make the length of time longer so I could get those longer like crashes and things. See here, some of these are like super short. And then some of them are really kind of like take the whole length of time. Or get cut. Some of them also get cut off in kind of weird ways. But again, it was just another like, I went through, I don't know, five or six sample libraries, and I was like, I'm just gonna grab whatever sounds good and just think about using it. And then this one's just percussion. So again, same idea, just like bongos, conga drums, rim shots, shakers, like whatever. This will all make sense in a second, maybe a few minutes, why you'd want to do this. So all kinds of percussive sounds here. So to talk through why this is important, so here we go. We got chain 10, for example. In chain 10, phrase 1, this is just a really bog standard drum loop. I threw the transposes because this is the default. This is maybe not default. Oop, I'm doing it wrong. The first kick drum is what. So that's the first kick drum. And I was like, I don't like it. It doesn't have enough high end. So all I had to do is come in and set transpose to 1. And because I've got up here, I've got C chromatic. So it's just basically the important part is it's in chromatic mode. And if I go over here, I've got transpose on. So anytime it gets a transpose value, for each number up or down that I go, it's going to adjust the slice in this case. So I'm basically picking a different drum. So I can I can keep reusing the same patterns and change out what drums I want, even though it's the same pattern. So you can see here, like chain 10 and 11. This happens to be a different. It's a different phrase. So I'm doing this to get like some ghost kicks. And just to change up the sound a little bit, but I'm still using a transpose of 1. So as long as I keep C1, so I have kind of like my mental marker of where I am for what kick I'm doing, by like just using like the default kick, I can then use transpose to dial in different kicks as I do this. And you'll see in here somewhere, I go transpose 24, but I'm still using, like in this case, I'm using phrase 1. So it's the same pattern as I used on chain 10, but now we've got a different kick. So I basically went through and did this for all the first 4 tracks, is just setting up like a handful of patterns that I thought would be interesting or kind of keep things moving, and still have the opportunity to be able to use transpose to dial in whatever kick I would like. If anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat there. Happy to like dial into other things, but again, same idea for the chains here. Like chain 20 is the exact same chain, so it's going to have the same phrase and transpose. But then for 21, I was able to come in and use the phrase, actually phrase 1B. I guess I probably had to rewrite this. So the 2 was probably the original, but I'm dialing in like a different hit here. It's got like more top end to it that I was like, oh, that sounds good. So same idea, hats, like open and closed. Basically, in this case, I intentionally went C1 and then I just chose a different sound so that I could get 2 sounds out of this. Like an open and closed hat would be kind of the idea here. So it's like, you know, the first hit's kind of functioning as a open hat, and then D sharp 1 is functioning as kind of a closed. Now, as I kind of use this transpose, though, it's going to be wherever things are in slots. So if you're more thoughtful about making sure you're going like open hat, closed hat, side by side, you could probably keep certain patterns working better. But, you know, here you can see like I switched from 02 to 04. and just it gets a different sound, even though it's the exact same phrase. So you're getting the same pattern. And then, I just wrote in a whole bunch of different variations of that. Same idea here for the for this phrase for the percussion was, just kind of put something in. Don't get too carried away with a lot of different things because we're going to get the variety as we're using different transpose values. It's like the same. I think this is the same pattern, right? 06 to 09. It looks the same. I probably just deep cloned it. But there's a shaker and like, I don't know, almost sounds like a duck. I don't know what instrument that was offhand, but I just kind of go through and do that. Now the bass, this particular track has, as you can see up here, the tempo is 82. I do change it to 130 on this line here. I'll show you how I do that. But basically, I've got the bass. And I think it was originally, does it say in the file name? Let's go edit. Does it say? I think the other one does. Yeah, 115. So I'm playing a dangerous game here to some extent. I don't actually, personally, I don't mind doing it. I think you get like more interesting ideas out of doing this, but basically I did not repitch these samples at all. I didn't repitch the bass. I didn't repitch the chords. And when you do that, you're gonna, if you're a little sloppy with your chops, or depending on how you kind of break things down, you're gonna get notes landing musically in like not the perfect like on the grid spots. So if I show you like this note, it's got like the way I chopped it, you can hear it plays a second note, and you can hear there's like a couple notes here, 3 notes, and 2 notes. And because I'm playing it at, I think, what, 82 BPM, even like these notes are getting fired off. The sample itself is 115 BPM. So it kind of puts stuff near, or your brain will let you be like, oh, that sounds fine. Especially the more you hear it, you're going to be like, oh, that kind of works. But it wasn't a fully solid thing here. So I did, and this is the chords. The chords actually aren't as bad to work with because they're sliced. I'll scare quote a little bit perfectly. But you can hear, I mean, that's like still, like this note. This note's fine. It's got like a little warble or something on the tail that may or may not line up. This has distinctly 2 notes in it. And if you kind of look, you'll be like, sometimes the notes, like you can trick your brain into thinking they're landing in the right spot. And just to kind of keep like it interesting, just to have like something change. I use the same transpose trick as I was with the drums, and transpose up 3. And because this is slices, it's basically just going up 3 slices for choosing what it's going to play for C1. Instead of C1, it's going C sharp 1, D, D sharp 1, E. So I guess it's like an E and E sharp probably, or maybe F. But it's using the exact same pattern or same phrase, just grabbing something different. And then I had some problems with this track, trying to run it through some extra mastering chains. And because track 70 here is a second bass, and I did the second bass intentionally to have something that would kind of force it into helping reinforce the rhythm, I guess is the best way I'll put it. And the scale command is forcing anything that I'm doing in this track to be in a D sharp scale. When I went through and looked at this, it looked like it was in Melodyne. It looked like it was a D sharp set of notes. So I'm basically doing this to force any notes or other transposes I may do specifically and particularly to this track to make sure that they're at least in the proper root and scale while it's playing the bass. And with all this, I mean, like you can see, like this first row here is just the same here. So I'm just going to play this. So you can kind of hear, like this is basically what I tried to put together. I was like, okay, I think there's something here to it, something to work with. Beyond that, as I said, I kind of did some other stuff here. I was thinking about getting some vocals in here, and instead went for like a little bit more like, I'll say like ear candy or something. So like these 90, 91 are basically just playing like little tiny like one shots or something to add a little bit more interest, because I felt like the slower portion of the track, it needed like a little bit more just to keep it interesting. So kind of like a reverse sound that I found out of my sample collection. And then this one is just kind of like some, I don't know, like wind chimes or something. And this here is a magic signal that is changing the tempo from 82 to 130, which has the fun implication of all the stuff that I just talked about as problems for playing samples that are at a BPM of 115. Now I'm changing from 82, where I'm going through and selecting samples, to having to find out if they still work playing them at a due tempo. So a lot of the initial work was just getting like things to kind of line up for these first three parts of the song, and then I had to go back through and like tweak things sometimes fairly heavily to get them to still fit in for a 130 BPM changeup. I actually just played the samples as is. I didn't pitch them up or down or anything, except for one pitch bend here, which is basically just to kind of get like a tape stop kind of effect, where it's playing like the chord, and then the pitch bend is forcing it kind of into like that kind of a sound. Beyond that, though, 81 is just forcing the tempo. As I said, I thought of doing like adding some vocals or something, and I don't know, like it just didn't like. I couldn't find anything that like felt like it would work, so I tried, but didn't get there. And the reason why I kept dropping these 81s everywhere is when I was trying to do like micro editing and some like tiny tweaks on this with the because the tempo wanted to play at 82 BPM from here for the default. If I have the 81, it plays faster. And if I don't have the 81 and I have like an FE, when I go play this, it's playing at a slower pace. So just to make my life easier, so I could come in and kind of iterate, test, and change stuff real quick. That's why I've just got all these 81s that only have the tempo set in it. You only really need the tempo set here, because once it triggers that tempo change, it will follow through as it keeps playing. But if you're going to come in and like kind of edit your arrangement, you're going to need something like that to do it. I don't know, like this is what the track sounds like. Let's see if we can, hopefully this doesn't peak or anything, or digitally clip. But this is the track. mix in the middle there. Yeah, a few things that I hadn't gone over, I guess. These 67s, I kind of wanted to have like that repeating, like something interesting is going to happen, and that's where I got like the pulsing. Well, what you can hear now is playing at the wrong speed, but because it was like this is going at 82 BPM instead of 130. But basically, just do the same thing, and then we just kind of go faster at the end, and then hit the re-trigger, so we get like the triple, or no, double. It's a double. If I want to go triple, it would have been RET02. So just kind of do that a couple times, because I originally didn't even have these other 3 sections. I had like a 1-minute track, and I was like, like I feel like I have this energy, and I want to build it up for like a little bit of a payoff, because like for the Dibia tracks, he's really looking for 1:30 max, and I was like, I've got an extra 30-ish seconds to kind of play with, so I wanted to have like that energy payoff, and then kind of be like, okay, we could build into something else and go even higher energy, but kind of go to the tape stop kind of sound. Beyond that, what else? Oh, yeah, so from here, but this isn't what the finished track sounds like. I had from here recorded the audio into the SP404 Mark II. I ran it through various compressor, vinyl sim, and things, and had some pretty serious bass problems. The bass was, because I don't know, you usually don't go do a double bass, for example. So I've got track 50 and 70 are working on the bass. I initially had both of these set at E0, and for both of them. Normally, if I was trying to do this as like a live performance set, I wouldn't modify it in the mixer here. I'd modify it in the instrument, but I just was like, I've been working on this forever. I'll just do it really quick there, because I'm not going to add anything else to this track. So I modified it on the mixer just to bring the bass level down a little bit. It was still way overwhelming on the SP404 Mark II. I'm not quite sure what is kind of hammering it so hard, other than I've got 2 basses. There might be, even with all the bus effects off and no input effects, it was just still like extra bassy. I could probably plug in. I'll see if I can show you. Let me make some space. We'll bring the SP404 Mark II down, and see if I can reproduce this. If I don't, then I'll be like, I did something terribly wrong. All right, we'll go output, disconnect, connect here. Because after this, I still had one more. Man, this looks kind of weird. Having everything on top. Well, we get what we get. All right, so turn external source on. We've got FF. All right, let's, like, even like right here, it just sounds like a little bit more punchy. And I'll show you. If I go Shift EFX settings, we've got bypass. Nothing's on bus 1 or 2. And if I go to EXT source, I don't have anything on input effects. It's just giving it like a tiny bit of extra punch to it, which is like normally fine, but like if I go dial in vinyl sim here, you can hear it's like, we'll start over. Like, I love that boom, like initial punch, but it's just like, it's muddy. So, I don't know. I recorded in 5 or 6 variations of different parts of the chain. One of the things I did to make my life easier is I came in and boosted the mid and high for the final rendering of this. I just did a low of 6. It's about 5 or 6 dB. So it just helps kind of pull with you just using the isolator helps pull that bass down a little bit. So I recorded through the isolator, and I think I had cassette dialed in around like 30 with like a tiny bit of tape hiss. I don't think I had catch off. I think drive was 30 and flutter was flutter was 0. Just to tone it a little bit. I think this is what I took for the final recording that I then brought in, or final SP404 Mark II recording. I took this rendering and then brought it into Ableton Live, where I really just, for the most part, rolled the audio off below about 60 hertz. I could use the EQ in here on the SP404 Mark II, but I wanted to have like a little bit more control and be able to see what was going on in Ableton Live to be able to kind of tweak it and get at it. Because otherwise, it's kind of hard to... usually I would say go with your ears, but sometimes like I'd rather use my eyes to see what the heck's actually going on with like a EQ8 or something. So, yeah, that is the track that I put together for Dibia session 26. Anybody that's interested, I think I got all the links in the description down below. Anybody that just signs up for free for the member on Patreon can go download all this stuff for free. Oh, fun. That's technically a bug. Once it loops back over, we're at the wrong tempo. I didn't know that. Be easy enough to fix. What would we do? We'd go make like a 92 or something. We'll deep clone it. Hey, good morning, Bait and Sopo. How you doing, man? 27. These can actually be all FEs. What am I doing wrong? Whatever. We'll just leave it as 27. Tempo. I'll dial back down to 82. There we go. That should fix it from looping over. Curious now. Make sure I'm thinking correctly. Hopefully you're staying out of trouble over there, making cool music. 4 bars of... There we go. Okay. Well, it's looping correctly now. I don't know that I have anything else interesting or exciting to go over for M8 stuff. I am still working on... putting some stuff together for the SP404 Mark II. In fact, I don't know, maybe I'll play around with it a little bit. Go over to the application stuff here, and don't need the M8 anymore. We'll turn it off and disconnect. Doing your best with life on planet Earth, man. It's always, you got to do your best and find ways to make it better. Anybody that hasn't, I haven't talked about this too much. I'll probably do a video talking about it. I may, if people are interested, do a call for SP404 Mark II heads that want to get some like 4-bar stuff going. But basically, I am working on a SP404 Mark II sample kit and pattern kit pack. I don't know, like whatever. So far, I've got 4 drum kits here, and you still want to understand sub bass on the Mark II. When you say you want to understand sub bass on the Mark II, what do you mean? So let's get out of these. So I've been recording kits over here, and just like making 4-bar patterns. As long as we have motion on, it will kick off and load the. I basically have motion record set up to set different FX settings and sometimes do some tweaks on the sounds, but I'm trying to push the SP404 Mark II to kind of just use a limited amount of samples to get different sounds. So like some of these are kind of goofy, but I'm just trying to show like you can get different sounds out of this thing if you take the time to do it. So I don't know, it's like 15 to 30 minutes per 4-bar pattern worth of work here. It's making it slow, but I've got a whole bunch of different BPMs and stuff that have been getting things in here. So a lot of work. This one's kind of weird. You can hear it, like this has been a problem, is some of this stuff, the effects don't properly kick in until it loops over. So it'll make things sound kind of out of time. Subsonic effects. I mean, I don't know. I've had people ask me a few questions on like, is there like any sub or whatever. I haven't been able to find anything. There's not like a direct replacement. If you just want to get like really subby stuff though, just get like a sine wave. Like I've got one on here. Which one? One of these. Yeah, just like this one. I mean, you can just record a sine wave. You'll, I mean, maybe you're trying to do some different stuff where you're trying to have the FX for your SP404 Mark II take like this and make a sub, use like the sub oscillator kind of idea and get it like really dark. That, I mean, you could pitch it down, use downer, and maybe filter it. I don't know. But I would say, honestly, just get like a really crazy, like, I mean, this is just a sine wave. So just get something to go nuts. And you've got the synth in here if you wanted to go, was it shift record? I mean, you get some pretty good options for making subby sounds for sure. What was it you have to do? Shift or something? I don't remember. How do you change the note? No. I have it written down. I don't use it that much. But I don't know if that helps you at all or not, but just record this off YouTube. Or download it once I start pasting it. I don't know. What's something that would be a good sound to mess with, though, if you wanted to... Like, if you want to get subby... Oh, I also forgot. I gotta get these. These need to be in parallel for this project. Parallel instead of serial. But for what you're asking... Yeah, sound generator's pretty good. You can get some fun sounds out of it. I would say it's a nice building block to getting started and then kind of go from there. But we can make some stuff subby here. Actually, the problem with this is It's assigned to bus 2. Let's go. I'll delete these. These are my trash versions of the M8 song that I recorded in, so we don't need them. Let's see if I must have something in here. Like, let's see, can we make this more subby? It's probably not going to do what you want exactly, but I bet we can go back to the FX, put it in serial mode, so we go one to the next. Go there. We've got I don't think that you're going to want the cloud delay. That's going to be too weird. And if you're trying to do it as an effect, like the problem is like whatever you do, you're going to have to resample it to get it lower. Yeah, this is just inconsistently going to start because it's whenever Downer decides to grab it. I had another effect in mind to try and grab, but yeah, it's not getting bassy enough. I don't know. Let's just try it. Sounds weird, but we're getting lower. So it's getting a texture to it. Well, that's kind of cool. The thing that you want from like the sub on the older SPs is something that's going to generate a tone signal based off of whatever you're playing through. My guess is it's capturing 0 cross points and then resynthesizing like a sine wave or something below that. This is going to be more like, this is how you go build dark ambient sounds off of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. What other options do we have here? I mean, you can pitch it down. You can only pitch down so far, though. Like, if we could pitch down further, I'd be less interested in the problem. But let's see, just cloud delay. Whoop. Yeah, it's just not taking it down low enough. We go cloud delay into the thing is Downer makes it like very hard to predict what the heck it's actually going to do. I don't think any of the fancy ones there are going to help. Echo, no. Chromatic pitch shift probably not helping either. I mean, you can get like lower, but I don't know about you, but I don't particularly care for the sound. And it's just not interesting, but it does get it a little bit lower, but it takes like I don't know, it's just taking anything interesting out of that tone and killing it. Backspin. We need, yeah, it'd be nice if, I kind of would like, I mean, sub, and I would love to have the radio effect on here. I don't know, I really like the radio effect on the SP303, but we don't have it. There's a halfway decent radio effect on the Korg Chaos Pad Mini 2S, but I don't know. We get what we get. Yeah, I'd go mess with sound generator, I suppose. What the heck am I got scatter on? How much time do we got left? Maybe I got time for doing one pattern. What do I feel like doing here? What's our BPM here? 158. I don't know, it's a little fast for what I'm feeling at the moment. 36, 129. I'd say you can get the S1 certainly will get you a lot of nice sounds, but if you're really just looking for a sine wave to like build up the low end, I would say just use Sound Generator. And actually, what is it? You go in here and then oh, that's right. I think it's subpad, yeah. Like you can get pretty low. I don't know how that's sounding across YouTube, but you got different types. So I mean, you can go nuts, and then if you're just playing around, you can always hit mark to go into your skip back buffer and go grab out whatever you just played. It is the sound generator is good for also just doing like general sound design stuff because you can, if you just use the noise, for example, you can generate a whole lot of crazy sounds if you want to take the time to do it. I've done videos in the past going over it before, but if we just go noise, actually, I don't think the pitch matters for noise, but if I just take this, hit mark, and go dial in, go record, and I got this. Oh, I didn't crop it. Duh. Whatever. We'll go. Actually, we'll exit out. Let's just get one hit. We can then like do stuff like run this through, even like Resonator. You just get just dial it in what you want, and then in fact, I probably should make a track automating Resonator and doing something weird with it. But unfortunately, we can't motion record on the parameter 4 through 6. So you gotta get what you get. But you can, even like with the sound, like just run it through like a reverb. Actually, you want the SX reverb. Because you can get you can go adjust the tone, the size of it. Then just keep dialing in effects on top of each other. You can get, just from like one little tiny burst of noise, you can get a crazy amount of, you can make like a hi-hat snare. You can make like weird ambient piano kind of sounds. Just depends on how much time you want to spend with it. But you can definitely do some fun things with it. But I'll have to think about that. I haven't done anything using Resonator yet. And I could go Resonator with like, well, need it over here. But that'll be something to consider. Do some like weird sort of pseudo scratching. And the filter drive just happens to work fairly well with it. Because you got your, well, I've got it configured for a low pass filter. Yeah, well, I guess I'm gonna drop from here, but we'll hop back in some other time, maybe later today if I get some time. We'll see. It's kind of a goofy day, but yeah, we'll keep jamming. As I said, I'm gonna keep working on this project. I got to get back to also working on the guide for the Dirty Wave M8. I got to get my butt. I started filling stuff out and then started working on this as a project. My inability to sit down and focus on one thing for more than 2 hours sometimes bites me in the butt. But just need more caffeine. I'll be good. But I got to get to my day, get going to logged into work and check stuff out. So anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good.